Good morning, ladies, gentlemen. The FID conducts criminal and civil investigations pursuant to the Proceeds of Crime Act and the Financial Investigations Division Act. The police officers who are stationed at the FID are responsible for the criminal investigations, which include money laundering, terrorism financing, corruption, and other financial crimes. They receive support from a team of forensic examiners. The civil investigations, which include post-conviction forfeiture and civil recovery of property matters, are managed by the forensic examiners with the support of the police officers. Currently, the division has an inventory of over 180 criminal and civil investigation case files. The majority of the cases are money laundering investigations, approximately 70%, which emanated from multiple sources to include other formations within the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, overseas law enforcement agencies with whom we work closely with, and local entities. Approximately 25% of the cases being investigated by the FID are classified as significant. That is based on the persons involved and value of the assets involved, as well as the level of complexity or the transnational nature of the investigations. All cases involving national or community leaders, politically exposed persons, public servant, or a public figure are deemed significant. All cases involving recoverable property with a minimum value of 25 million are also classified as significant, as well as case types such as terrorism financing, investigation involving entities operating in the financial sector, or homicide cases with a financial connection. In recent times, the FID has been collaborating with the Criminal Investigations Branch of the JCF in investigating several homicide cases that have a financial connection and in which the public has shown keen interest. The operational activities over the last 2 years, from January 2019 to November 30, 2020, reflect the challenges the country faces generally with financial crimes and the tangible efforts made by the division in combating this problem despite several issues. Between January 2019 and November 2020, the division concluded investigations into 24 asset recovery cases involving criminal benefits or assets with accumulated values of $505.6 million and US $1.737 million. 11 cases were concluded in 2019, and in spite of the COVID pandemic, which restrict us to a certain extent in our inquiries and investigations, we have so far concluded 13 cases. The division has identified assets including real estates, motor vehicles, and bank accounts valued at $182 million and about US 500,000, which it will pursue to satisfy the formal orders as they are obtained from the court. 4 orders were granted by the court in 2019 and 2020, amounting to $55.4 million. The division is now pursuing the enforcement of these orders, which, in keeping with the law, may result in the defendant serving an additional term of imprisonment for failure to pay the monetary order as imposed by the court. The division has observed a positive trend where defendants in asset recovery cases have formally engaged the division via their attorneys to negotiate a settlement. There are 7 cases currently being discussed with defendants' attorneys, which are at an advanced stage of negotiations. One of the cases involved assets valued in excess of $126 million. The accused in the case also intend to plead guilty to money laundering offenses at the next court date in early 2021. In regards to criminal investigations, in 2019, the police officers at the FID charged 9 persons with 21 counts of money laundering and other financial crimes offenses. 5 persons were convicted. As at November 30, 2020, the officers charged 8 persons with 26 counts of money laundering and other financial crime offenses. 8 persons were convicted or have been convicted year to date. In keeping with its strategic priorities, the division has been empowering other police officers island-wide via training and mentorship in the use of poker in traditional criminal investigations. This has resulted in an increase in the number of persons charged for money laundering offenses by police officers external to the division. 18 persons have been charged for money laundering by external police officers in 2020, compared to 8 by officers stationed at the FID. And the FID currently has 15 police officers who are stationed here. In furtherance of money laundering and asset forfeiture investigations, over 500 investigative orders were served on financial institutions over the last 2 years. We utilize these orders like disclosure orders, customer information order, and the production order to trace the benefits, particularly financial benefits, that criminals obtain from crime. 6 requests were submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for approval to be granted under the Mutual Assistance Criminal Matters Act for inquiries to be undertaken in the United States in regards to money laundering investigations being pursued by the division. Another 3 requests are being processed. Currently, the division has forfeited assets valued in excess of $1.355 billion under management, consisting of 42 real estates that were forfeited from criminals valued in excess of $1 billion, 22 motor vehicles valued almost 16 million Jamaican, and 37 bank accounts with funds amounting to 283 million Jamaican dollars. The division also restrained over 315 assets valued in excess of 1.25 billion in furtherance of money laundering and asset forfeiture investigations. So in addition to those assets that were forfeited, we have another 54 real estate that are restrained, another 78 motor vehicles that are also restrained, and 183 bank accounts that are restrained with funds amounting to 478.6 million Jamaican dollars. The division was able to achieve these results operating with less than 70% of its capacity in its police, financial forensic, and legal services units. There's an urgent need to increase and upgrade the number of posts in the organization and recruit additional staff in these areas to ensure there are adequate human resources to effectively investigate and prosecute money laundering offenses and deprive criminals of their ill-gotten gains. In addition to the staffing matters, the capacity of the courts to adjudicate money laundering and cash seizure cases and application for investigative, restraint, and asset recovery orders in a timely manner have limited the effectiveness and efficiency of the division. Currently, it takes over 3 years for an asset recovery case to be heard in the Supreme Court, between 4 to 6 years for a money laundering prosecution to be finalized in the parish court, and between 2 to 4 months to hear an application for investigative or restraint order in the Supreme Court. Waiting 2 to 4 months to obtain a restraint order against the assets of a money launderer or drug dealer who is knowledgeable about poker is counterproductive to the mission of the division, which is to prevent the transfer of any assets in order that the asset may be available for forfeiture. The division will continue to advocate for and support any appropriate legislative and institutional changes aimed at improving the efficient passage of adjudication in our courts. Thank you.